Ooh, guess what we're doing today? Mini bike. Alright, so modifying the Predator 212 today, but we don't have any parts. But you can take off a few things and get a little bit extra horsepower. I'm talking about the governor, drilling out the carburetor, and modifying the air filter. That's what's going to happen today. So I'm going to show you guys what you're going to need to do this. Now, if you're like me, you got gasoline in your gas tank. A pair of vice grips holds it on just fine, and then a basic tool set. Just need some sockets and a wrench. So I believe that these are not going to fit, considering this is a Chinese engine, so probably 10mm bolts all the way around. Okay. And you know what? That's not going to work. I need a wrench. That's what I need. Alright, so what we got so far is we need to pull this cable forward manually without a spring. So that's doing that. I need to adjust it right here. We have the spring pulling it back. So this essentially, with this direct solid connection, pulls it forward and it keeps the governor from pulling it and the throttle back. So that's how this is going to be done. And then this, of course, is just so it'll still return. But yeah, this spring, if you guys are wondering, it came from where I put this direct piece of metal to work the throttle without the spring, and this will be our return. And then once we get that put together, since the carburetor's nice and open, we'll rejet the carburetor and we'll modify our air filter to flow better. Alright guys, upgrades are done. Just one last check to make sure everything goes back. It does. Fuel on. It might shoot a fireball. Maybe, maybe not. Hey. The choke was on, that's why. Figured out what's that noise. It's our fender, so we're gonna fix our fender and get back at it. Alright, so the part of the mini bike that was making a lot of noise, that is bolted back on with some washers, because there was a bushing that used to sit there. And now there isn't, because it probably dry rotted off, which is to be expected over time. But now, let's give her a go now, see what this mini bike can do. Way to tell how much faster it is if I just go drive it. But that's nice. Let's go. So I had to put the go-kart away because it's running way too rich. It idles. It starts up just fine. You don't even need to choke it, which is a problem because it drilled the main jet out way too much, and now it, when you try to rev it up, it just dies because it's running too rich. I think it's the exhaust. It's not flowing well enough. You can tell by looking at the spark plug after just running it for a little bit, a lot more carbon buildup. So, shouldn't have done that, but I'll get a different exhaust for it, and then that'll be the next video I make of that, is putting a performance exhaust on it, and hopefully it'll actually rev up without dying, because it's flooding it out. So anyway, see you next time for part 2 of making a go-kart or mini bike more powerful.